and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery, 90 proof, Franklin County, Kentucky.
This episode of Southern Gothic includes the depiction of suicide. If you or someone you know is in crisis, call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. Don't hesitate. You matter.
Nearly all colleges have ghosts, legends that have grown up around some supernatural occurrences generations of students tell to each other. That ghost organist that plays at Judson College, that poor girl at the University of Montevallo who years ago caught her clothing afire. All over you find these ghost tales, but the finest of those ghost stories, those college ghost stories, is told here at Huntington College in Montgomery.
Hey, Happy New Year, y'all. It has been far too long since we released an episode of Southern Gothic, but here we are, back and hopefully better than ever. Thank you to everyone who's continued subscribing to Southern Gothic, supporting us over on Patreon, and following us on social media. Brianne and I are so grateful to have you here. And of course, we also want to welcome all our new listeners who found us in the last few months. Now, I will admit that part of the reason I've been out of commission is that I may have taken on a few too many projects in the last few months. But one in particular was a total dream gig for me, and I'm dying to tell you about it. I got the chance to step in and edit for the boys over at the Astonishing Legends podcast, while their longtime partner in crime, Sarah Voorhees Wendell, went on a maternity leave. Like I said, this was a total dream gig for me. The podcast has hands down been one of my top 5 for years, and I even fanboyed Scott and Forrest at a podcast convention up here in Nashville just this last summer. But for those of you who haven't heard of it, Astonishing Legends is a podcast that deep dives into unsolved mysteries and the paranormal, with subjects that range from Bigfoot and UFOs to haunted places and infamous disappearances like D.B. Cooper and Amelia Earhart. The kind of stuff that kids like me, who grew up on Leonard Nimoy's In Search of, would totally
What's good,
be into.
y'all?
So if that sounds like your thing and you're going to check it out, of course
We're
I'm going to
just
recommend
chilling
that you
here.
start with one that I edited. Back in
Carving
October, Scott
clay.
and Forrest did a 3-part series on the true story of the exorcism that inspired the famous book and movie, The Exorcist. Now, these dudes were seriously thorough in what they covered. But man, I gotta tell you, the sound design that Ryan McCullough did on these episodes is absolutely insane. So if you get a chance, go check that out. And of course, Scott, Forrest, Tess, and Ryan, thank you so much for making me feel like a part of the team. But most of all, Sarah, congratulations on the new addition to the family. Now, one more thing before we jump into today's episode. I've got a pretty cool announcement to make. Brianne just found out that some of her writing is going to be included in Volume 3 of the new all-female paranormal journal, The Feminine Macabre. For those of you who have been a long-time listener of the show, you might already know this. But my sister's gotten really hung up on a couple of the stories that we've covered here in the past. And she keeps going further and further down the rabbit hole with it, looking for stuff that nobody else has ever found.
This is a dice tower.
Some of which will actually be included in
building
this
it
piece.
for D&D.
But I'm not going to tell you
See
what
it
it
from
is just
here.
yet.
You essentially
The
put
book won't be
dice.
coming out until March. So
Dice.
if you want to
They'll
hear
pop
more
out
about the
down here.
project, visit spookeats.com
Ideally.
or sign up for the Southern Gothic newsletter.
There we
And
go.
we'll let you know more when it hits the shelves.
I just built this.
So with that,
It's
let's get on down to
classic
Alabama
with
and
clay on
explore a
top.
classic Southern
I'm
ghost
just
story.
currently carving out all the little stones for the castle. Listening to a podcast too in the background. But I'm just here to vibe. I'll answer any questions.
Huntington College is a small but historic liberal arts school based in Montgomery, Alabama. The institution was founded as the Tuskegee Women's College
welcome
in
everybody.
1854.
I'll actually move the
and saw its
camera
first
over
graduating
so y'all
class
can get
of
a better
four
look.
only 2 years later. Then, in 1872, the operation of the university came under the oversight of the United Methodist Church, and it was renamed the Alabama Conference Female College. By 1906, the school had outgrown its campus in Tuskegee, so a search began for a new location, and in 1908, 50 acres of land were purchased in the Cloverdale neighborhood of Montgomery, which was donated to the school for this purpose. With this relocation came yet another name change. This time, it would be called the Women's College of Alabama. But again, the name didn't stick, as men began to be admitted to the school following World War I. It has been Huntington College ever since, a name selected in honor of Selina Hastings, the Countess of Huntington, a prominent Methodist religious leader and a key figure in the 18th century Wesleyan movement in England and Wales.
Welcome everybody. I have on the podcast Southern Gothic,
Today,
which is a Southern
Huntington
true
College
crime
embraces its
podcast.
mission to, quote, build great lives, and continues to grow both its enrollment and course offerings. But for such a relatively small school, Huntington has the incredibly unique distinction of being considered one of America's most haunted college campuses. This notable infamy, however, is not for reasons that you might expect. It is not the site of an immense amount of paranormal activity, nor does it have a particularly dark history, but rather, this historic Alabama campus is home to an iconic haunting, an apparition that is known simply as the Red Lady. My name is Brandon Scheck-Snyder, and you are listening to Southern Gothic. For generations, the folks at Huntington College have claimed that the ghost of a former student haunts the 4th floor of an old dormitory named Pratt Hall. Legend says that not long after the Women's College moved to Montgomery, a young woman named Martha arrived on campus from New York. The girl was sent there by her father, an Alabama native who had willed her a great fortune as long as she attended her mother's alma mater in the Deep South. So Martha reluctantly did as he wished, enrolling in the college despite knowing absolutely no one on campus. But there was something even more unique about this young woman than from where she came. Martha had an obsession with the color red. She wore only red dresses and decorated her room with draperies, bed coverings, and other items, all with a scarlet hue. Being naturally shy, she struggled to make new friends in these unfamiliar surroundings, and it is said that this isolation only grew deeper and deeper over time, as many of her classmates mistook her apprehension and eccentricity as an air of pretension. On the other hand, Martha may have misunderstood their interest and attempts at friendship, often feeling as if she and her peculiar interests were nothing more than a sideshow for her classmates. As a result, Martha's life at Huntington College grew into one of immense loneliness and melancholy. Eventually, Martha's roommate decided that living with someone who hardly ever spoke to her was just too much of a burden to bear, so she requested to be moved into a new room. Unfortunately, what followed was a series of the same. Over and over again, girls were assigned to live with her, only to be driven away by what became a more and more disagreeable Martha. So after months of this occurring, the dormitory president made the decision that she herself would move in with the eccentric northerner. This seemed like a pretty good idea at the time, as the girl was well known for her ability to get along with practically everyone. The eager young woman then made attempt after attempt to build a friendly relationship with Martha, but every time she was met with continual disappointment. And as time passed, the otherwise upbeat and sociable dormitory president found herself becoming increasingly depressed over the arrangement, just as the other girls had before her. Then one day, she too decided that it was time to go. Yet Martha was unaware of her latest roommate's decision to leave, and on that day that she began packing her things, Martha was so surprised to find her preparing her exit that she lashed out at the young woman, confronting her with a rage-filled tone.
So you couldn't stand me either, like all the rest of your stuck-up friends. I was beginning to think you really wanted to be my friend, but you hate me, just like all the rest. Well, I'm glad to be rid of you. Take your things and go. But I'll tell you one thing, my dear. For the rest of your life, you'll regret leaving this room.
This was more emotion than anyone at Huntington College had ever seen come from Martha, and although the dormitory president was disturbed by the outburst at the time, she brushed it off and carried on with life. But Martha did not. The eccentric freshman felt abandoned once again, and this time it was by the one person whom she believed might have actually wanted to be friends with her. Martha soon took up the habit of wandering the corridors of Pratt Hall, walking into rooms where other girls were congregating, only to have them excuse themselves from the group, one by one, until she was again alone. In despair, she would then head back to her own room in solitude and wrap up in her red blankets for comfort, as the alienation that she felt became more and more overwhelming. Then at night, she began walking the dark halls of the dormitory in what some described as a trance-like state. Martha opened doors and entered rooms without invitation, creeping out her fellow classmates by staring at them in an eerie manner and further pushing them away. Whether the intent was malicious or merely the product of a mental breakdown is unknown, but to the girls of Pratt Hall, it was truly unbearable. Then one day, it all stopped. Martha did not attend her classes or show up for meals in the dining hall. Feeling guilty, the dormitory president decided to go and check on her. As she neared the fourth floor room, the girl noticed a deep red light streaming out from around the door, which upon opening, unveiled a chilling sight. The girl then unleashed a chilling scream that echoed through Pratt Hall, and students came running to her aid, only to find in shock that Martha lay dead in a pool of her own blood, dressed in a red robe and wrapped in a crimson blanket. The young, lonely girl from New York slashed her wrists in one final act of desperation. To this day, students claim to see Martha's apparition wandering the dark fourth-floor hallways of the one-time dormitory, entering rooms through closed doors, and mysteriously vanishing in thin air. And it is said that on the anniversary of her suicide each year, a scarlet glow of red light emanates from the door of the room where her dead body was found. Almost a century since her supposed death, questions linger on as to who exactly this eccentric girl from New York actually was, or if she ever really existed. Is it possible that the Red Lady of Huntington College is nothing more than an urban legend told to scare the wits out of incoming freshmen? Or is this spirit wandering the corridors exactly who generations of students claim it to be? I'll let you decide as we explore these questions and more after the break.
This episode is brought to you by Death on the Nile, exclusively in theaters February 11th. The greatest detective of all time, Hercule Poirot, returns to solve another deadly case. Join Poirot on a wild ride down the Nile River, promising luxury, intrigue, and murder. Grab your friends and get ready to solve this murder mystery on the big screen, starring Kenneth Branagh and Gal Gadot. Premiering only in theaters February 11th.
This episode is brought to you by Fidelity Spire. The free Fidelity Spire app helps you plan, save, and invest smarter, so you can make your money work harder. Visit fidelity.com/spire to get started. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. The Fidelity Spire app is free to download. Accounts made available via the app may be subject to fees. Fidelity Brokerage Services member NYSE SIPC.
Well, the story of the Red Lady has been passed down by generations of students through oral tradition. It was one of Huntington College's most well-known graduates who took it off campus and exposed the world to the legend. The celebrated Alabama storyteller, Catherine Tucker Wyndham. In the 1960s, Wyndham and her former English teacher at Huntington, Margaret Gillis Fee, set out to, quote, record tales of those spirits whose adventures have had such widespread appeal that they may be designated as Alabama's greatest ghosts. The result was their now well-known book, 13 Alabama Ghosts in Jeffrey. To say that the pair were successful in their endeavor is an understatement. The book, which was published in 1969, is still hands down the most iconic collection of Southern ghost stories available today, and Wyndham's storytelling has become ubiquitous in the genre. In fact, this is the 6th story from that specific book that we've explored here in Southern Gothic.
The appearance of a ghostly ship engulfed in flames on the Tombigbee River makes itself known through the echoing, melancholy sounds of a phantom piano. Veteran soldier.
For many of these stories, Wyndham's tellings have become the most widely accepted versions. But in many cases, we're left wondering where they originally found the tales. Fortunately, when it comes to the Red Lady of Huntington College, we know exactly where she first heard it, as a freshman at the school from which she graduated in 1939. But frustratingly, the Red Lady's inclusion in 13 Alabama Ghosts in Jeffrey includes little information that would help verify if the events described in it are true. Not only is Martha identified by her first name alone, but her date of death is also vague, as Wyndham writes that it happened simply, quote, a long time ago. Nevertheless, we attempted to find her with what facts we did have. Using 1912 as a starting point, the year that Pratt Hall opened, we searched a number of digital newspaper archives for absolutely any information related to Huntington College. Unfortunately, we found absolutely nothing that could confirm such an event had occurred. No obituaries, reports of deaths, or suicides on campus. Not even the slightest mention of a student named Martha. While this alone does not definitively rule out the veracity of the tale, the lack of documentation and the use of a fairly stereotypical plot suggests that the story is likely nothing more than local lore. This hypothesis is further bolstered by evidence that suggests that the tale of the Red Lady evolved from yet another story predating the Montgomery-based campus. It is said that sometime in the late 19th century, a spectral woman was seen in the dormitory of the Alabama Conference Female College in Tuskegee, Alabama, on the top floor, then known as Sky Alley. Several of the students first noticed the figure walking the hall just after lights out as they were preparing themselves for bed. They claimed that the young woman was dressed in a scarlet dress and had an eerie red glow emanating from her. She strolled wordlessly down the corridor, a red parasol in hand, illuminating the dark hallway with a red aura. Students gathered in their doorways to watch as she walked seemingly unaware of their presence. And when she reached the end of the corridor, she turned and walked back the way she came. Frightened by her change of direction, the students scampered into an open room and shut the door behind them to avoid being noticed. They then silently huddled around the sealed door and listened to the sound of footsteps echoing on the other side as she walked back and forth, back and forth for hours on end, until finally, as dawn began approaching, the footsteps faded away as mysteriously as they came. Curious to see if this mysterious figure was still in the building or not, several girls ran to the window and caught sight of her walking away, disappearing silently in the early morning light. After that night, the apparition in red was never seen in Sky Alley again, but it is said that she left a lasting impression on the young women who witnessed her walk on that fateful night. Some even refused to sleep without a candle burning at their bedside, forever fearful of the dark. Yet no one was ever able to explain the appearance of this eerie apparition, who she was, or from where she came. Over the years, some have come to believe that this apparition was an omen of the future tragedy that took place at Pratt Hall. But what's more likely is that this story is simply the seed from which the more infamous tale has grown. But if that is the case, how did this tale originate? Since the publication of 13 Alabama Ghosts in Jeffrey, the story of the Red Lady has been retold in various other books and online articles. Yet remarkably, the story has stayed almost completely consistent with the version presented by Catherine Tucker Wyndham. Occasionally, the young woman is identified as Margaret instead of Martha, or the alumnus of the school was another of the young woman's family members. But otherwise, practically every aspect of the tale is the same. However, one element of the story's retelling that is seen to shift amongst the various works is its tone. In the original work published by Wyndham, Martha is very much the victim, a misunderstood, shy young woman who, despite trying to make friends, is looked upon with disdain for her family background and her unexplained interest in the color red. Her shyness and nervousness at being in a new place are seen by the other students as haughtiness, which then causes them to react negatively. While other versions of the story have Martha coming off as someone with a better-than-you attitude and a strong resentment toward the other girls. In these versions, the other students do make every effort possible to befriend the young woman, but all their efforts are rebuffed. In these stories, Martha also actively isolates herself, and the result is a bit of a morality tale passed to each new generation of students, serving as a reminder to be open and accepting to their classmates, as failure to do so may just lead to tragic consequences. This tale of morality is very likely a remnant of the Sky Alley story, providing a unique insight into its origin, not as a means to scare future students who believe in the paranormal, but rather as a shaming one through the use of an age-old archetype. After all, sightings of this type of apparition are far from isolated to Alabama, and are actually part of a larger theme in folklore that crosses varying cultures and periods of time. In the first episode of our podcast, Ghost Tour, Birmingham-based author and tour guide Wolfgang Poe described a similar but more prevalent archetypal tradition, the Lady in White.
You can talk to them, you know, the classic white lady story. You pick them up on the side of the road. You go down the road taking them home. You go over the bridge. for whatever reason, you look away, you look back, your seat's wet, she's gone, and you find out later that bridge is where she jumped off the bridge for whatever reason. You know, that's the classic version of the story.
As Poe suggests, the Lady in White has been a prominent fixture in ghost lore for centuries throughout almost every culture of the world, and we've even covered several of them here on Southern Gothic. Typically, these women are seen as innocents who, for some reason or another, have been forced to endure a tragedy or loss that they did not deserve. As a result, their spirits have remained, either grieving their loss or hoping to complete their unfinished business. The Lady in Red exists as part of this tradition. But in contrast to the White Lady apparition, the scarlet-hued ghost is often a jilted lover or prostitute that has become the, quote, victim of objectification. Her fate is typically not one of innocent misfortune, but instead the result of her own immoral decisions or vanity. With this in mind, it's hardly a stretch of reason to understand why an urban legend like this would come about and flourish in the dorm of a historic Methodist women's college in the Deep South. Today, the Red Lady is not Huntington College's only resident ghost, but it is certainly the most well-known. Pratt Hall has since been converted from a women's dormitory to the home of the Education and Psychology Department. And perhaps ironically, the infamous fourth floor houses the offices of the campus sororities. Of course, Huntington College does not remain silent on the Red Lady altogether. There were several mentions of the spirit in past newsletters that often relate to either Catherine Tucker Wyndham, the school's frequent placement on lists of haunted colleges, or Pratt Hall's presence as a stop for local ghost tours. Still, some claim that despite it no longer being a dormitory, a red light can be seen emanating from beneath the closed door on the anniversary of Martha's death. Some say a hint of red can even be seen through the window if you look closely enough. But exactly what day those lights appear is uncertain, for the legend of the Red Lady does not provide that information. Nevertheless, those who hope to one day see her remain undeterred. My name is Brandon Schexnayder, and you've been listening to Southern Gothic.
Southern Gothic is an independently released podcast, written and produced by Brianne and Brandon Schexnayder. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter. Not only will you help us sustain our growth and continue releasing episodes like this one, but you'll receive access to special members-only content and swag. The link is in the show notes.
Lucky little Shack.
No, I wasn't. You just wanted drama. Karen, just wanted drama. Come on, Karen. Come on, walk your dog. Go back. No, I wasn't. I have an out. I record my speed. My speed was 20.
You were been going faster. You saw me and started fucking speeding up.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
I'm waiting for the officer. He can track my app.
Okay, well, he was the officer, I guess. No.
Fucking Karen. Come on, Karen. Come on. What do you want, Karen?
Not that they run over.
I didn't run you over.
You did.
I saw you. I
You
saw you.
sped up.
I literally.
You sped
No,
up.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You saw me coming.
I put.
To try to get through the
No,
tunnel before I
no.
did.
You don't know how to
Yes.
drive. I put my car on park, and my car went a little bit.
No.
No, I
You were
did.
there and had to sped up to try and get
Oh
past
my
the
fucking
stop.
god. So we have Karen tonight, today. Come on, Karen. Come on, you want to be on TikTok?
You want to go to jail for almost running a pedestrian
Yes,
over?
yes. If I run you over, I'm willing to go to jail. Okay, let's see.
Exactly.
Man, dude, just walk away. Dude, do I have an issue with you? Do I have an issue with you? Do I have an issue with you? Just move. Just go. Just go. Okay, bring the fucking footage. From my ass, man. From an ass. An asshole. Bro, I come the fuck down if she does. If she does,
You
come the fuck
literally
down.
sped up to run me over.
Yeah. Wow, you scared me, man. What do you want to do?
I hear you screaming all the way
What,
over there.
you if you
Take your stuff and pull over there.
I'm not gonna pull over. I'm waiting for officer right now.
Thank you, sir.
I have witnessed all the cars behind me witnessed this.
No, they already left.
No, man, they still here. You witnessed me or you didn't? You are my witness, right? You saw me. I was speeding. Come on, let's see.
That's not before you got into work.
Man, I was working. I was working.
What were you doing running there? Just speeding.
I'm delivering your package in this pandemic. Man, I wasn't yelling. She started to yell.
No, you were yelling. I can hear all the way down the street.
Man, you didn't hear it from the beginning. I respect you. I really understand what you're saying.
She's the pedestrian. She has the right of way, not you.
What do you think? Should people blindly defend someone without knowing the situation? Let me know in the comments section.
I stopped for her.
You sped up first.
I didn't.
Yes,
I
you
didn't.
did.
I put.
Yes, you did.
Do you understand when you park the car? Man, I'm not talking to you, man.
You came down, saw me crossing, and didn't want to wait.
Have a good day. Have a good day. I'm waiting for an officer. I'm gonna pull over. I'm waiting for an officer. Fucking Karen tonight, just making fucking drama and calling me that I want to hit her over or run her over. She's fucking bitch.
Hey, babe. Yeah. What are you doing? Will you come help me? I have a problem. Yeah. Candace stuck in this smoothie cup. I don't know. Oh, yeah. It's still stuck.
Some more water in
The
it.
water's hot.
The water's cold.
Maybe cold. Might need more soap.
Here, try this soap. What is so funny? What is so funny? Why you got your damn hand out of the cup already? Hey, man. Happy birthday, Carl.
Yeah, that just fucked him up. Yeah.
Hold on.
Nobody move. Don't scare him. Don't move too fast, Khalil.
That soggy ass cake. Candy, dude.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting.
Oh, you do too. I represented my family. Get out of here. You do too. Okay, I'm recording you. Record her. I am recording her. Goodness sakes. Venimos a tener un pacífico día y supuestamente una enfermera. Supuestamente enfermera quiere que nos movamos más lejos por la gana de ella.
I caught her.
No. Look at this. Racism in action. You see, I don't have any. She gave him a cookie. Nah. This girl.
She's really
every
racist.
other person, except for the colored people in the class, one person kept snacks and candies. And she's complaining how I didn't do work, but I actually have a Google Docs, and she did not write a single thing I wrote just because she doesn't like the fact that I'm colored.
He threw me to the ground. My name is Terry Ann Booth. I'm the manager of the fucking airport here. Who saw him choking? Who saw him choke me to the ground? Who saw me?
I saw you run through the door when you weren't supposed to, and I saw him
me
push
to
you
the
out
ground.
the door.
You deserve
I'm
it.
pretty sure you're mistaken.
In a dress.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. You fuck off. I was the manager of the airport here.
Today, Karen called the fire marshal, and he came in his big red truck. When is Karen going to jail?
My lovely neighbors called up because I was using my fire pit. Fire marshal said no problem. Trying to make a beautiful house. And Livid, Livio, and poor Pam just keep doing it. Anyway, so they called the police today, and they called the fire marshal. Bye, fire marshal. Wait now.
I have to identify myself.
Yes, you do.
Actually, I don't. It's called common law. You should read up on it. I do not. Okay? So we both know that I don't. I am a woman of God. This is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours. I did not sign up for this. I am a Christian woman of God, and you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will not have it. You understand that? I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand? The CDC just released.
Turn around.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Play this game.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Look how freaking close this hillbilly jerk is parked to my car. Like, how am I even supposed to get in there? There is no room to even open my door. This is ridiculous. Oh, here he comes now. Are you serious?
What?
Can you parked your giant gas-guzzling hillbilly truck so close to my car, I can't even get in.
You can't get in that?
Yeah, I can't even. Like, how am I even supposed to open my door?
Maybe try salads.
That is the rudest thing that anyone could ever say.
There's a lot more rude things people could say to you. You know what, Karen?
Get out of my face. Get your gas-guzzling truck out of here.
There's a lot of room.
You're a murderer. Earth murderer.
I don't have a master. I'm my own master. Yeah, I'm free. Let's get you ready. Let's see me read. I know how.
Hey everyone, let's see what we have outside the window today. Karen
Karen is new to the neighborhood. She just moved in about a year ago. She has inserted herself across the street where she does not live to spruce up their mailbox just in time for fall. She's tired of the renters across the street having a shitty looking curbside appeal and a shitty looking yard. Karen loves to go outside and garden. She's taken it upon herself in the last week to cut down the lilies that I had planted on the border of my property and her property that have been there for years. Great job, Karen.
That's a, excuse me? Excuse me. I'm coming through. You're so cute. She's clapping at me. She's clapping at me. No, look at you guys. You're so cute. Okay, whatever. You're so cute. Because I don't need to hug one on. I'm sick and neither are you. You don't know who's sick or not. It's my allergy. You don't know who's sick or not by looking at somebody. Yeah. And so 2 years ago, before anybody started talking about COVID, you were okay with that, though, going out not knowing you were sick, right? You don't know anything about my health. I don't. Yeah, she's coughing at me. I have my allergies, and she got all freaked out because I'm coughing. No, she's coughing. How do you know? You don't know anything. She just said, I don't know anything about her health. You don't know anything about my health. Maybe I have a medical.
Okay, everybody.
Please, I don't need to wear a mask. Okay, fine.
So a bunch of you sent me this video and asked me to post it, find her, etc. This apparently took place in Nebraska, so I'm more than happy to do that. Inevitably, with things like this, people always ask me, like, what makes people act this way? And I think the easiest answer I have is a line from the movie Men in Black. When Will Smith's character is being told that aliens exist and the lengths they're going to hide it, he says, why don't you just tell everyone people are smart? To which Tommy Lee Jones' character responds, a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals. Case in point. Panicky, dumb, dangerous animals.
I'm just standing here. I just got my nails did. Fucking crazy bitch! Leave me the fuck alone. What do you get out of harassing kids? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
Oh, do you want to make the first move, darling?
Keep walking, sweetheart.
Do you want to make the first move, darling?
Keep walking. You're not going to hit a kid. You're
Hello?
tiny. You're not going to hit a kid. You're tiny.
Oh.
Say hi.
I'm tiny?
Yeah, say
Is that
hi.
an invite? Can I just break one of those fuckers off your name?
So to explain that, she walked past me, called me a stupid cunt for what I was wearing, and so I decided to make a TikTok about it. And then she came up and started harassing me again. I'm in the car now, I'm safe, and my nail salon redid my nail for free, but...
I don't drive this car every day.
Well, no, I see it start and go and start, so...
Okay, there's a lot of other modified cars in this community.
There's another man...
I pay for this parking spot, so I don't know what the problem
That's
is.
what I thought, but I'm complaining because this noise of this car drives me nuts.
Okay, it's a V8, it's not modified.
What's that?
It's street legal.
I don't know what that means, but I just can't stand this noise of this car.
There's nothing illegal on this car.
The muffler, whatever it is.
There's still a muffler on this car.
Well, why does it make so much noise?
Because it's a V8 with almost 500 horsepower.
Well, I don't know if they should even have this car in this parking lot. It drives me nuts. And I'm going to complain about this as well.
Great.
Bitch. Excuse me, I'm looking for the organic basil. Where is it? Oh, I'm not sure. That's not an acceptable answer. I don't know what. Go get your manager, pronto. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Saying I'm sorry means nothing to me because if you were sorry, you would actually do your job. Go get a manager. Okay, if you just follow me. This isn't follow the leader. You don't need to treat me like I'm in elementary school, okay? Okay. I need you to go get it and bring it back to me. Now. Okay. Where is this jagaloon? Excuse me. Oh, hey Karen. What did you just call me? Oh, Karen. Now I really need to speak to a manager. For sure. Let me know if you find one. That's it. I demand to know your full name now. Samantha. Samantha what?
Coat rack. And how do you spell that? I'm calling corporate. Sure, that's ZYX. WVUTSRQPONMLQJXGFBCDA. Wait, slow down. My apologies. Just stop. Okay, excuse me, sir. Are you a manager? Yes. This woman called me the most racist, sexist, classist name that you could possibly call a white woman. Wait, who? What? She just called me a Karen because I'm a white woman with class. Okay, ma'am, I've never seen this woman before in my life. So you don't even know your employees? Karen, I don't work here. Of course you do. No, she definitely does not work here. So you just mess with me for fun? Yeah. Well, I'm calling the health department. Why? For race, sexist, classes.
Yes, I did. That's all your stuff. Shoot me. Give me my card. Have her give me my card. Tell her to give me my card. Ashley.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home winning. Our fast and fresh meal kits are as fast to make as they are fresh to enjoy. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple. Get 10 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
We're here to tell you the story of our new movie, Marry Me, in just 60 seconds. Ready?
Okay.
It starts when two megastars plan to get married on stage while performing their new hit song, Marry Me, to millions around the world.
What will you want me to inhale, baby? I wanna make you want me. Boy, just scream like yeah, 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 yo. You keep pulling and pushing my senses. I like the way that
It's his wall.
You don't give a fuck. I know you don't. Look at this. You're making a fucking mess. Who told you to do this?
I don't have no fucks to give
Who
today.
told you to do this? Who told you to do this? Who told you to do this?
Stop. No, I'm not gonna stop.
You better call the police. Call the police right now. You stop that. What the fuck are you doing? What are you videotaping me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm videotaping you.
Okay, right. You get off my fucking property. Well, who asked you to do this? Answer me.
It's not your fence, lady.
Hey, you get off my property. I don't want
That's
that
fine.
on
I'll
there.
do it from this side, lady.
I don't want it on. I don't want it on there.
Okay, what are you trying to sell?
I'm selling pest control. Do you want to buy pest control?
No.
Okay. Have a good night
So
then.
do you have, no, I want to, I'm a trustee here in the village and I want to know what you're doing here.
Well, like I just told
Jane,
you.
I'm going to call. I'll call you right back.
Hello? Hey man, how you doing? Good. Yeah. I got some. What was your name again?
Margaret Sitzer.
Say it one more time.
Margaret Sitzer. Do you have a
I
license?
I do, yeah. Hold on, Margaret. I've got Margaret Zitzer. Hey, how do you spell your...
Sitzer, 921 East Pembroke Road. I've got some solicitors here that are going around to sell pest control. And I'm a little worried about it. I've got neighbors calling me about it.
Hey, Margaret, can you come here real quick?
Glenn Brook. Yeah, I'm talking to the guy in the car right now.
I'm not plagiarizing. I'm just right there with his black ass. Okay, I don't give a fuck. All I said was excuse me. Watch your mouth. Watch your fucking mouth. I said excuse me. Okay, I said excuse me. You got have a room with me. You got have a room with me. All I give a fuck past. That's your damn right. You start talking about your black husband. I don't give a fuck about your black husband. Just because you suck black dick, you don't mean you're not a racist. You just suck all the niggas. You probably nigga all you want to do.
Hi, you got a second? Mom, don't do this. Lucas, it's fine. Hi, Mrs. Stevens. How can I help you? It's come to my attention that you don't exactly play for the correct team. Pardon? You know, the Lord's team. Is this some sort of suburban mom reference I should be getting? Do I have to spell it out for you? You're a fat mom. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I do not condone that kind of language in my class, especially from my students' parents. Well, maybe if you were half as smart as I thought you were, you would have caught my drift, or maybe perhaps gotten a better career. First off, I love my job, and second, you're here because I'm gay. Duh. It hasn't exactly been a secret, so what's the issue? Well, I would appreciate if you marched yourself to the principal's office and resigned. I can't cope with the idea that they hired someone like you. Oh, so you tried to have me fired? Obviously, and they said you would only leave if it was voluntary, so I'm asking you nicely. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going anywhere. He's an amazing teacher. Let's just go. No, Lucas, it pains my soul knowing you're exposed to someone so dirty. Lucas, yeah, buddy, can you turn around and close your ears for a second? Okay. Great. Listen here, Mrs. Stevens. What? The only gay man you should be worried about is your husband who sneaks off to the clubs every weekend and leaves with a different twink each time. Now turn around and click-clack out of here in your horrendous dollar store heels. Honey, come on, let's go. Finally. Yeah, bye-bye.
The court of the accusation of my dog. So the accusation on the dog is that he came running to attack your daughter. He bit her a few times before she could be pulled away. But the dog continues to jump up to get her, with no chance of pulling him back. So Mrs. Karen says that he is uncontrollable, aggressive, and a danger to all, especially to small children. Yes, that is true, and I have proof on this happening. She presents pictures of her daughter's bruises that aren't much bigger than a tiny coin. These pictures isn't from my dog biting her daughter. My dog is a 30 kilograms muscular boy. So if she was bitten so aggressively, she wouldn't have escaped with 5 small bruises. My dog was on a leash at all times and not far from my side when the little girl jumps out in front of me. He is used to kids and will and has never harmed a child no matter what this child did to him. So he would have no reason to jump this girl for just stepping out on the bike lane. Both my dog and I managed to avoid her, and we did come back to make sure she was all right. And she was fine and without a scratch when I left. The court continues for about an hour and Karen gets upset with my so-called lies, as she so nicely put it. Since we can't come to an agreement, we will start a jury about the event and decision on this dog's future. We will need the doctor's statement on the child's injuries and an evaluation on the dog's temper. No, you can't seriously let the dog walk freely on the streets. Me and my daughter cannot feel safe in this town, knowing that dangerous dogs can come around every corner. I demand to have him put down immediately, for the safety of my children. My name you can go. Mrs. Karen will stay here till I say otherwise. I honestly hope she got an earful for yelling at the judge. My name you can go. Mrs. Karen will stay here till I say otherwise.
Excuse me, do you have this in a larger size? It does not look like it. Well, I happen to know the store down the road has my size. Oh, perfect. That might be your best option because I don't think we're supposed to get another shipment here for another week. Excuse me? Or you could always try to find it online. I just know shipping sometimes takes a little bit longer. I can't believe the way you're speaking to me right now. What? I expect an apology. For what? I can feel you judging me and I won't have that. No, I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to help. Well, you can help by apologizing. I don't see what I need to apologize for. Okay, well, I'm not leaving the store until I get an apology. Okay, well, we close in 10 minutes, so I don't know what you're gonna do here. I know what I'm doing. What are you doing? I'm going home. I can make this your last day employed here. Actually, today is my last day, so you should congratulate me. Ew.
This is a Karen. She doesn't like the sound of ice cream vans at pier. In the afternoon.
It's 2 o'clock.
Don't be a Karen.
Okay. Okay. They're not, because there's 2 kids there not sleeping. Yeah. Yeah. And you're unhappy. Okay. Okay.
It's nice like this. Okay, post it.
So I come and spoke to you first. Okay. I will be posting it, trust me. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and this lady is crying because the bell on the candy van out working. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, good. You're going to be famous on Facebook today, trust me. It does. They open the door and it stinks in there. It absolutely stinks. Stinks. Thank you.
Yeah? You go in that one, I go in this one. You go in that one. You have to go there if you're on that side. You have to go there if you're on that side. Well, that's the way it works for me. Bye, Karen.
Hi, I'm supposed to be meeting someone here. Oh, actually, we just had a gentleman walk in and said he was waiting for someone, so that might be him. Oh, okay, great. This is actually our first time meeting, so I'm not sure which one. I think it was the gentleman that's sitting right in that first booth. No, that can't be him. Oh, my mistake. Maybe he's not here yet. No, because if that's him, I've been the catfished. That sucks. That better not be him. Okay. Hi, Michael? Yeah, hi, you look beautiful. You don't look like your profile picture. Really? Because I used pictures I took on my vacation this year. Weird, I pictured you with blonde hair. Really? Why? I have brown hair in all my pictures. Yikes. Did you get an appetizer? Yeah, I got us some nachos. Oh, I won't eat that. I'm allergic. To nachos? No, obviously not. I'm allergic to lemon spice. I just can't eat that. But they're buffalo. So, Michael, do you actually work at the hospital, or was that a lie too? Yeah, I work in the ICU. And are you one of those anti-vaxxers? So pro-vax? Yes, I'm vaccinated. Ooh, so you don't want to have children with me? Not particularly. You do know it makes you not able to have children, right? I read that on Facebook. Oh, you're serious. Well, that's not accurate. And if it was, then free birth control, right? I'm sorry, I can't be with someone who doesn't take care of themselves. The feeling's mutual. That man over there is not who he says he is. He's pulled a catfish. Oh no, have a good night. I need to know who I can report him to. I have no idea. Do you have like an anonymous catfish tip line I can report him to? Because I've been victimized of...
Mom, do you really think we can raise $3,000 selling water?
Yep. If we sell 100 bottles, $3 each, that'll give us $300. Minus the cost, which was $50. And that'll put us around $250 profit a day. If my calculations are correct, we should reach our goal after 12 days.
Wow, Jamal, how did you get so smart?
Books, Darnell. Anything you need to know is in the book. Water! Come get your cold, clean, delicious water!
Yes, and it's very delicious. You don't want to get a heat stroke.
Great advertising, Darnell.
Thanks. I learned it from the best.
Hey kids, I couldn't help but overhear that amazing sales pitch. I'm too old to be out here without something to drink.
Thank you, sir. All of the proceeds go to our orphanage that just got burned down.
Nothing like two young men taking matters into their own hands to help the community.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot. So, how many waters do you want? You should take 2 just in case you lose one.
Such bright kids. You know, you're right. I'll probably forget as soon as I leave at my age, so I better take 2.
All right, here you go.
Awesome. And $6 to the future entrepreneurs of the nation.
Thank you for your business.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
What are those hood rats doing in my neighborhood? They need to learn their place. Take their drug selling schemes back to the slums.
Hello, miss. Would you like to buy refreshing water to help save money for...
You keep your drug-filled water away from me. I know what you thugs are doing. You can't fool me.
Dogs? Ma'am, we're just kids trying to raise money for a good cause.
Don't talk back to me, boy. Stand up when you're talking to me.
But I'm in a wheelchair. I can't stand up.
You call me stupid, boy? Didn't your drug addict parents teach you any manners?
We're orphans. We don't have parents.
You talk back to me one more time, I am having you arrested.
No. Don't call the cops.
Where's your permit?
Permit?
Didn't they teach you thugs anything in those ghetto schools I have paid for with my taxes? Of course you need a permit. You need a permit to sell anything. It's called living in a civilized society. This isn't Planet of the Apes.
Well, I'm sorry, miss. We didn't know.
If you don't leave my neighborhood and leave these poor, good-hearted people alone and stop bothering them with your ugly, dark presence, I am going to call the police.
No. Please don't call the police. We'll leave right now.
Huh. What is in here? More drugs. Now look what you made me do. Hurry up and clean those up, boy. That's littering on the street and that's illegal. I could have you arrested. You might finally find your daddy when you're in jail.
Why are you so mean?
You think this is mean? You're getting off easy. If my parents were here, they would do way worse. That's what you get for selling drugs in my neighborhood. This is God teaching you people a lesson to stay in your place.
Hopefully we don't find any more crazy people like that lady here.
No, I don't think so. That last spot was 20 minutes away from here. Come and get your water. Good and refreshing. Good for your health. Doctor recommends you at least drink a gallon a day.
Jamal, we did amazing today. We sold almost 200 water bottles. This is definitely the spot. We need to come here every day.
Yeah, if we keep this up, we're going to reach our goal way faster than we anticipated.
Thank you for being my big brother. I know we're not related, but in my mind and heart, you are my brother.
That means a lot to me, Darnell. And blood doesn't mean anything when we got a true bond friendship. You're like the little brother I never had.
Thank you. That meant a lot.
I'm telling you, one day we're both going to get into great colleges, eventually get our own place. Then we'll be able to come back and help people just like us do the same thing.
Oh no, Jamal, look!
What did I tell you, you jungle monkeys? Looks like I'm gonna have to call the cops.
We moved to a whole new place. This isn't even your neighborhood.
Don't talk back to me, boy. All of these streets belong to my ancestors. We worked hard to build a good neighborhood, and I refuse to allow dirty brats like y'all to ruin it with your dirty hands and feet.
I'm scared, Jamal. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. I'm scared too.
I'm calling the authorities. You are breaking the law by selling those poisonous bottles.
No, please don't.
Look what you did, you hood rat!
That was an accident. I didn't mean to do that.
Now I'm gonna teach you what happens when you mess with people like me.
Hey, what's going on here?
Mr. Johnson?
These thugs are selling water bottles without a permit. I'm teaching you a lesson.
You don't need a permit to sell bottled water. Anybody can do that here.
Really? But she kept saying we go to jail.
Jail? You guys are not going to jail.
What are you doing? We gotta stop them before they start infecting our neighborhood. They start out here, they end up selling that drug to our children.
I don't know where you're coming up with they. All I see is a couple of young men trying to make some money out here. They could be anywhere doing anything with their time, and they're trying to raise money for their orphanage. And it looks like they've done a great job.
Thank you, sir.
People like you, they make all our efforts go to waste. You should be ashamed for going against your own kind.
My own kind? You mean human? We're all the same. You should be the ones ashamed for hassling these kids like this. I can't believe the patience they had with you. I'd have flung a water bottle at your head. You know what? Get out of here for hassling these guys before I call the cops on you.
Yeah. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! You fucking piece of shit! Hit me! Press the fucking corner. Go ahead, hit me! Hit me! Hit me! Hit me! Yeah, hit me, you fucking dickhead!
Parked Karen walks up to the window. Tellers say that she can't jump in front of other cars from that lane. Karen gets back into her car and drove off without doing her transaction. Tellers and I had a good laugh when I told them I got their Karen experience of the day on camera.
Get back in your car.
stop bothering people. What is wrong with people? Oh my god. Oh my god. What is wrong with this woman? I just can't with this. This is so funny.
I know it smells. Excuse me, are you the only one working here? Oh, no. Oh, thank goodness. I need you to go get me a male vet tech as soon as possible. Thank you. Oh, actually we don't have any available right now, but I'd be more than happy to help you. I don't think that's gonna work for us. I'm sorry, is there a problem or? Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Yes, major problem actually. You see, my cat does have a sensitivity to females, so it might actually just behoove you to go get us a male vet tech, or if you could just act more masculine yourself. Okay, so she has a fear of females? Oh, no, it's nothing like that. We don't believe in fear in our family. She's just a little sensitive. Oh, okay. Yeah, so talking in a deeper voice and maybe getting some hairy patches on your face would definitely help. Right, well, I just want to assure you I'm trained just like anybody else here, but if you wanted to wait for a male, you're more than welcome to. I just am not sure when. The management here is always all over the place, but I guess you'll do. Okay, great. So if you just want to follow me. Oh, I don't like going back there. It just gives me the old heebie-jeebies. Oh, yeah, that's no problem. I can just take Kitty Karen. Oh, it's okay. Don't use her full name when addressing her. She gets very uncomfortable around strangers using her full name. Okay. She would much rather you call her ma'am, Ms., mademoiselle, whatever. She's flexible. Sure, no problem. Great, so let me hear you practice. Miss Kitty Karen, nope, you failed. You have to say it in your masculine voice. I don't really feel comfortable doing that, honestly. Really? Because the girl on Thursdays always does it. It's never a problem, so I think you'll be fine. I'm sure. Well, how about I just don't talk to her and then we can just avoid all of this? That won't work. You see, her heart rate will accelerate very easily, so in order to keep her calm, you must chant the national anthem the entire time. Really? Well, I'm not seeing any of this listed in her profile. Correct. She has opted out of putting her information into any computer, because you just never know nowadays who's going to do what with that information, you know? Of course, I should have known. Well, if you don't mind, I can take Ms. Kitty Karen and go on back. Okay, honey, this is where I'm gonna give you over. Okay, I know she looks crazy. I know she smells. I can't do anything about that, but be on your best behavior. No biting, no scratching, okay? I know I'm gonna miss you. Okay, I got her. Come on, Kitty Karen. Oh, Ms., call her Ms., please. Oh, right, of course. Oh, it's fucking crazy.
I just paid you, and I will give it back to you in your tip, because I can't leave here because I gotta pick up my son. I wouldn't have hired you as my driver if you were going to do this to me. I'm going to be the biggest complaint to live there is. Oh my god, you are the worst driver I've ever had. Ever fucking had. You're disgusting. 15 minutes? I've had people wait longer.
That's other people.
Well, you can't get me out of your car though. Really?
Thank you. Have a good day. Happy Valentine's Day.
No, fuck you. I'm here to pick up my kid, and you're making it more difficult on me because you're being an asshole. So fuck you. No, not happy Valentine's Day. You can go fuck yourself, and I'm gonna give you the biggest fucking complaint I've ever given to you. I've never given a bad complaint. You're a fucking horrible Lyft driver. Horrible fucking person. You are, all I needed was some help, and you won't even help me. What a disgusting disgrace of a human being you are. You are disgraceful. I hope you go back to wherever the fuck you came from. We don't deserve people like you. And I've never said that to anybody in my life. Welcome to my new self. You're an asshole. You are a fucking disgusting human being. You're gonna sit here until I get a new ride.
Can you get out, please?
Not until I get a new ride, but there's no place to go in. So, since you're keeping me out of your car and you told me, I added a goddamn stop on my car. Nope, not until I get a new lift. You fucking, you're gonna sit here until I get a new lift. 8 minutes. Oh, should have just waited, shouldn't you?
I will not
could have
wait
gotten the money.
8 minutes. Absolutely.
Oh, you're not gonna leave and let me with me in the car?
Absolutely.
No, you don't have to. That's your choice.
going down. But the police officer may be related to it. What?
You're such a disgraceful. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing with these packages?
These are my packages, lady. Get out of here. This is my house.
No, this is my house.
Who's my house? Now get out of here.
What?
Get out of here.
Hey. No. You put those packages, who are you? What is your name?
Trying to let racist parents know their fate.
Okay. What are you gonna say?
Stop racism. Wow.
Sure.
This was what happened.
Okay. What I say, they were like, they're not real because Jordans, they don't bend. Like, can I see the receipt for it? Gotcha.
Cap.
Yeah. No, okay. No, because shoes are getting so good now on the fake, that's why.
I don't know anything about it, so I just bought the shoes.
No, I got you. How much you pay for this one? $4.95, huh?
On
These are the Hyper Royale, right? Okay.
I bought them when I bought them.
You fuck yourself.
She also reported my offer up account, and I got.
No, you did that. Now you're going to jail. Now you're going to jail. That's not our problem. Better run.
I mean, really?
Now you can go.
There's a lot of videos out there of Karens doing Karen things, berating people, but we don't have enough videos of Karens being spoken to the way they deserve. Check it out.
Live here. I ain't got a lease to stay here. I don't have a lease agreement. Exactly. You don't fucking know. So mind your fucking business, bitch. Go sit the fuck down. But guess what the fuck I'ma do? I'ma step on this bitch and I'ma ride that motherfucker. Suck my dick.
This lady kicked my husband out of his seat so she could sit there. Now he's standing at the window wondering what he did wrong. What the hell is wrong with all the other seats?
Do you work here? Yes, ma'am. Wow, really not liking your attitude. Strike one. I said yes, ma'am. Could you just tell me where the Honeycrisp apples are? I'm sorry, but we don't have any Honeycrisp apples right now. Just check in the back. We don't have any at all. In the front, the back, the side, nowhere. Excuse me? We were supposed to get some this morning, but our delivery driver got into an accident. He's good, but we won't get any more until tomorrow. Okay, well, that's unacceptable. Go get your manager. Why? What do you mean, why? Because I said so. How is a manager gonna change the facts that I just told you? I need to speak to a manager now. Hello, I'm the manager. Is everything okay over here? Finally, your incompetent employee just told me that there are no Honeycrisp apples, and he's doing nothing to help me. Make it make sense. Yeah, we were supposed to get some today, but our delivery driver got into an accident. He's cool though, but we won't get any more until tomorrow. Hey man, why didn't you tell her that? I did tell her that though. Oh, my bad. Alright, well then what's your problem? I cannot believe how you two are talking to me. What happened to the customer is always right? Then start acting right. You know what? I'm done with this nasty ghetto store anyway. Alright, whatever you say. Do you validate parking here?
Finally.
Just see how far he can.
Amazon Halo View is the new way to build healthier habits right from your wrist. Plus, the Halo app includes hundreds.
I was absolutely terrified. I knew in my core that he was here to kill me.
I see the white of these two bones, my leg bones, and the ends are just shattered. And beneath them, there's this spreading pool of blood.
I begin vomiting in the bag. And he begins beating me as I'm begging him not to kill me. I grabbed him by the throat and said to him, as we were literally nose to nose, "You're not going to kill me in my home." I'd never wanted to be a failure at marriage and worked very hard over the course of 17 years to build a relationship. But he had issues with anxiety, abandonment, and anger that as he got older became more intense and more disruptive to our life together. I had witnessed domestic violence in my family and in my professional life, to the point where I felt that we were at risk because I was not happy. He had never been happy. And I felt that we needed to separate for our safety. I had friends over, and he was outside with us on the deck and off to the side, and he just had this very strange look in his eyes that my friends who've known me for many years and who also knew Mike felt was very scary. And on that day, I felt that he was getting angrier. That was the day I decided that I'm going to file. I went to work that morning. Everything was normal. I had a 9-hour day and a busy ER, nothing unusual at all. When I got home, I went into the house. I saw the bedroom. It looked dark, and I presumed that I must have forgotten to open the blinds, but did not think anything was amiss, my house having been alarmed. I moved forward, and from behind the partially closed bedroom door, out stepped a man who had yellow dishwashing gloves on and a hammer in his hand.
I've been sailing all my life, and for the second half of that life, I had this dream, taking my family out on the open ocean. And I wanted to do it because I wanted my kids to experience nature firsthand.
I started thinking, this is not such a bad idea to put the family in a small contained space. At least we'll have some time together as a family, and I'll get to know my kids.
We were about 350 miles west-southwest of Tahiti.
And we were on our last leg of our journey to Australia. We were about 2 days out at sea when our boom came loose from the mast.
We're adrift, and the boom is starting to slam into the mast. And on a big mainsail, it's not just a nuisance, it's dangerous. And Ben and I and Amelia and Jean were wrestling with this problem. And it's going to be pitch black by 5 o'clock at night because there's no moon this night. And I call it quits. I say, look, we're going to fix this thing in the morning. We've still got our Genoa, which is the big sail that goes to the top of the mast and attaches at the bow. That's pulling us forward.
I just hear this horrible scraping sound. And at first we just looked at each other and said, well, it must be something like we've hit a palm tree or something that's floating around.
But in that same moment, there's thunder. There's like this detonation underneath the boat, like a low frequency, below a boom, right? And Ben yells reef at that same moment. And I bound up into the cockpit and I look over the side of the boat, and by the ship's lights, I can see the red of the coral beneath us, and I know that we're in a world of trouble.
I worked there 3 months. They had moved me down there to take over a restaurant that was failing, and they thought I was the one that could do it. And I was doing a great job turning it around. My boyfriend had given me an engagement ring, and I was probably walking on air. Just the happiest woman I could be. I did what I do every night when I closed. I walked each employee out the front door and made sure that it was locked when they left. As I was leaving the dining area, going into the kitchen area, someone came up from behind me. I felt something in my back, and at the same time they said, "Don't move." And it was unbelievably scary. Never have I been that scared in my life. And I froze. And he put the gun on my shoulder and he said, "See this? This is real." He said, "Take me to where the money is and don't turn around." As we walked towards the office, I slipped my engagement ring off in my pocket. I thought, "You're not getting this. I don't care what you get, but you're not getting this." I could see that he had long grayish hair, that he had a dark baseball hat on. At first I thought maybe he had a mask because it cast shadows across his face. He had a beard. I said, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Get out of here." He swung the hammer, hitting me in the side of my head, and swung again, hitting me in my temple. I was so full of fear and rage and adrenaline myself that my only thing that I could feel was terror and the knowledge that I needed to do everything I could do to live through this. I began to struggle with him for the hammer, and he had a very tight grip. And as I struggled with him, I began to sense that he was not there for a burglary. He never asked me, where's your safe? Do you have any guns? Are there any money in the house? Do you have drugs here? None of the things that I would think that a burglar or a home invasion robber would say. And as I struggled for the hammer, he said, "You're strong." And I saw in his eyes something that made me believe that he had done this before. He sounded surprised, but he also sounded excited. I knew he was here to kill me.
I throw my starboard engine into reverse, full reverse, and I jump across the cockpit and I throw the port engine into reverse. And I start running for the bow, and Ben reads my mind. He knows instinctively what I want. I got my hand out, he slaps the knife into my hand, and as I run towards the bow, I slash the sheet that's a line that's holding the Genoa, and that's pulling us onto the reef more. And I turn and I'm running back towards the stern, and there's just this huge, I see this huge black wave, and it just humps up and breaks.
And the water just came gushing through the right hole like I thought I was in a scene from Titanic. I mean, there were plates and dishes and clothes and stuffed animals and everything just flying around on the water. And I looked over straight ahead to the sofa where my kids are sitting, and Amelia's got her arms around the two little ones, and they're just shaking and they're screaming, "I don't want to die, I don't want to die."
I jump down into the radio room and I begin broadcasting, "Mayday, mayday, mayday," and I'm getting absolutely no answer. I jump back in the salon and I yell over to Ben and I tell him, "We've got to get up there and inflate the life raft." He's right behind me, and we're up there. We're up on the bows of the boat.
I'm telling Amelia to go get food for the life raft. And as she's doing this, this massive wave hits the boat. The mast actually comes loose from the whole deck, and this huge 3-story, like 2,500-pound mast comes down, and it just lands on the deck, and I can hear John scream.
The pain just explodes in my brain, and it just boomerangs back down to my leg, and it comes back up. Emerald Jane's mask is laying right across my legs, and I just remember thinking, this is impossible. It's impossible.
He said, "Open the safe, but don't you turn around." So I got down on my hands and knees. I opened the safe. And he said, "Now give me all the money, but don't turn around. Just put it behind your back." At this point, he began to get angry, and he said, "That can't be all there is. Give me the rest of the money." And I said, "I can't get to the rest of the money. I can't open that part of the safe." He exploded. And the amount of rage that he had, it sent chills through my bones. It is unexplainable. The chills and the fear. He put a plastic bag over my head and tied it with a piece of rope that he had brought with him and told me to stand up. I stood up, and I still was facing away from him. He told me to turn around, which I did not want to do. I did not know what was going to happen. was absolutely terrified. I knew in my core that he was here to kill me. For what reason, I don't know. But I could feel that fear, and I could feel that rage. I grabbed him by the throat and said to him, as we were literally nose to nose, "You're not going to kill me in my home." He began to turn blue, and I felt that he was going to pass out at that point. I grabbed the hammer and I began hitting him. My father was a carpenter, and in the 60s you didn't have home alarms, and he told us that we could feel free to use a hammer and that we should use the claw end because it would work the best. When I had control of the hammer, I used the claw end because it did work the best. I hit him, and I hit him.
Damn, this lady
I
is
thought
a
probably
G.
I hit him 3 or 4 times. And then I lost the hammer, and I ran. I got just a few feet outside the bedroom door, and he grabbed me from behind, spun me, and began punching me in the face. He broke open my lip. I had another bleeding area of my lip as well. I felt dizzy. We were both bleeding. I looked to the left and could see the phone jack, but there was no way for me to reach the phone. And as I turned my head back, I saw him with the hammer bending over me, about to hit me again. And I knew that if he did, I would be dead.
I latch my hands onto the mast, and I use that to help me do a sit-up, and I pull myself forward, and as my field of vision clears the top of the mast, I see the white of these 2 bones, my leg bones, and the ends are just shattered, and beneath them there's this spreading pool of blood.
The spreader on the mast had actually cut right through John's leg, and his leg was just hanging by a little tendon of skin.
My mouth and my nose are only 8 inches off the deck, so every time a wave comes up, I'm underwater, you know, and I can't breathe. And every time one of these huge seas comes in, that mast will lift. It'll become buoyant a little bit, and it'll lift a little bit, and then it drops, and it's dropping right back down on my knee. So I'm in a world of hurt, you know. I'm in a dimension of pain I've never experienced before. A sensation overcomes me that I've never felt, and I didn't recognize it, and I kept probing in my brain, what is this, what is this, what is this? And I realized that I was dying. These shouts, these defiant warnings that my kids are firing off to each other. They're yelling, big one coming. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, and they're not giving up. See, they're defiant, they're fighting, they're not quitting. And it sinks into me finally. I get it, and I decide that I'm gonna fight too. I'm not gonna give up.
I was afraid that I would suffocate inside that bag. And I started praying, God, don't let me die. I can't die. Too many people need me. So as I'm standing there, begging him not to kill me, he said to me, "Take off your shirt." In a very more demanding way with a lot of swearing involved. And I said, "No, I can't. I can't." So he ripped it open, and I can remember hearing the buttons pop on the floor. He told me to take off my pants. And again, I said, "I can't. I just can't. Please don't do this to me." He told me to lay down on the floor. And I'm praying under my voice for angels to come protect me, get me through this, help me through this. And he tied my hands around the wrist to the bottom drawer of another filing cabinet. And there was nothing I could do. And I knew if I fought him, I would die. I was filled with rage and adrenaline and fear that I would soon be dead. I grabbed him by the leg and I pulled him down, and I continued to try to get the hammer out of his gloved hand, but I couldn't, and I was tired. I was screaming for my neighbor Joe in the hopes that he would hear me, but my voice was getting less and less, and my strength was going. I started to bite him. First on his forearm, I bit him twice, and then on his upper arm. I bit him on the edge of his back and along on his right flank. I bit him on his thigh, and he did not let go of the hammer. I even, because we were now side by side facing each other, bit him in his genitalia with the hopes that he would let go of the hammer, or in the hopes that if I died, that I would leave marks on him that would help them determine that he was the one who had done this. I felt for stuff in pockets, an ID, a key, a comb, anything that I could throw into the next bedroom, so that when they found me dead in my hallway, they would know that I fought and I struggled. When I realized I was not going to ever regain the hammer, it came to me that I needed to become the weapon. I wanted him to be afraid of me as I was of him.
It's this level of pain that you don't think that you can withstand, but nothing changes, you know. Time just keeps going, and I know that I can't get out. Nobody can lift 1.5 tons of mast off of me. And this huge wave hits. And, you that moment, I've got nothing else to do, you know. I'm laying there, I'm kind of a captive audience. I see the mast and it lifts up higher than I ever saw before. And I push as hard as I can underneath, and I get out and the mast slams back down, but I'm free. You know? I'm out from under.
When the right-hand hull, the bow broke off, it scissored around and the life raft fell in between the two hulls, and it's just getting smashed together like a donut inside these hulls. And I mean, I couldn't believe it didn't even pop.
And we're without a raft. And we enter a period, you know, where there's just nothing to do but to tough it out. You just got to hang on and believe.
They were just unusually quiet. I mean, my second son, Jack, is a chatterbox, and he did not say a single word. Camille talked to me once the whole time. She said, "Mommy, if I go to heaven, will you come with me?" And I just said, "Well, of course I'll come with you." And she goes, "I just want Daddy to stop hurting."
I can hear Jack and I can hear Camille crying. And it is not lost on me that I have put them there. This idea of going across the Pacific, you know, Gene cooperated with it, but I was the instigator. I was the source. So for me to die knowing that one by one, they're going to lose their lives on this godforsaken reef, and it's my fault that I've done that, is unbearable. Unbearable. It far surpasses my physical pain. Ben never stops thinking. And he's the only person on the boat that understands that our time is very limited on that boat. There's less than half of it's left. It's being pounded into pieces, and if he can't get the family off of the boat, they're gonna die right where they stand.
So he and Amelia take the two kids on their back, and they go through this waist-deep water. Ben comes back to the boat where I'm sitting, and he says, "Okay, the kids are okay. They're on the reef. I really think you need to get off the boat too." And I said, "Well, I can't leave your dad here. You know, he's not in good shape." So I said, "Well, we have to get this life raft out of there." And he said, "Well, we can try."
Amelia's holding onto the dinghy. She's chest high in water, and she's holding the whole raft, the whole life raft, away from the coral edges, these sharp edges, razor sharp edges of the tide pool.
And we get in the life raft with John to try to keep him warm because he's just shaking now. We didn't even think about laying there with his blood and urine and stuff because it just didn't matter, you know. It was like we had to keep him warm, and we had to keep him alive.
I begin vomiting in the bag. And he begins beating me as I'm begging him not to kill me. He begins hitting me in the head, in the face, knocking out teeth. I heard him unzip his pants And I thought, okay, here it comes. As he finished, I laid there and tried to be as lifeless as I could. I made myself not breathe. As he walked out of the door, he gave me another big kick in my knee. And the door closed. I can feel the vomit that's in the bag, and it's up to my ears. And when I breathe in the bag, I'm sucking the bag into my mouth. So I know I have to do something or I'm going to die of suffocation. And I began screaming for help, knowing no one was out there, but rationale didn't matter. And when it finally dawned on me I'm using up all my oxygen, I thought, okay, think rational. How are you going to get out of here? When I realized I was not going to ever regain the hammer, it came to me that I needed to become the weapon. And I put my left leg over his right leg, which pushed him face down into the hardwood floors. I was on his backside, and I leaned forward until I could put my left arm under his neck, and I began to squeeze. I told him, "Tell me who sent you here, and I will call you an ambulance." I let him go so that he could have air and be able to speak, but he didn't. Instead, he began to do his best to flip me up off of his back, and I knew that if he were able to do so, I would be dead. I had seen a police officer choke someone. It's called a sleeper hold, and the intent is to apply enough pressure to both carotids so that they go unconscious. When he began to turn pink again and regain his ability to flip me over, I knew that I needed to lean forward until he was still. My heart rate was so incredibly high that I felt like my heart was going to jump out of my chest. I grabbed the hammer, and then I struggled up and I ran. I ran through the hall, through the living room and out, and then to my neighbors, where I hammered on the door and said to Dennis when he came to the door, "Let me in. I've been attacked. I think I may have killed a man."
And Amelia's out in that water for hours, and it's liberally laced with my blood, and she knows it. Not a good thing. Ben spends the entire night combing the reef for cans of water, cans of food, whatever. He thinks he sees the reflection of the sun off of the windshield of a plane. That's all he can make out. And he fires the last flare that we got, big flare, 600 meters. And a minute goes by, another minute goes by.
Then I see this jet circling around, and the jet comes right over us, and we are just, I can't believe it. I say, "John, just Please just hang on.
They've got no medicine, you know. They've got no medical skills. They've got no radio. It's an hour and a half ride back to their little settlement. I'm more conscious than I've ever been in my life of, it's an intuitive sense. I just understand that I've got to breathe and that I've got to regulate my breathing. And I'm very conscious of the beat of my heart, and that beat has to be willed. And you have to just stay with that.
I just remember as it was coming down to land, just holding Ben and shaking, and that's when I finally cried. It was like, that's when I could finally, like, wow, somebody's actually coming to get us.
When I sucked in air and the bag was in my mouth, I would grind my teeth and try to chew through the bag. And I finally did. And when I chewed through the bag, I could barely reach my pinky. And I got that pinky in that hole and I ripped it open. I laid there and I took in deep breaths. And I began working using my teeth and what fingers could reach. And I got my hands untied. And I tried to get my left foot untied, but I couldn't. That knot wouldn't come out. The ambulance personnel wanted to get me out of there and take me to the emergency room right away. But there was a female police officer that held them back, and she said, "Let me talk to her first." She knelt at my feet, and I begged her for my coat to cover me up and to please untie my leg, and she wouldn't do it. And I kept saying, "Please cover me up and untie my leg. These are men out here going to see my nakedness, and I want covered up." And she had one question to ask me, and it was, "Penny, did he finish?" I said, "I don't know." And she became so adamant about it that I lost it. And I just began to scream and cry to get me out of here. And so at that point, the ambulance drivers just weren't going to wait anymore. For 3 years, I was a different person. I wouldn't go shopping by myself. I wouldn't drive by myself because of fear. I survived that night because I had to live for my daughter. I could not die and leave my 16-year-old daughter without a mother. I survived that night because I was not ready to die.
You know, my son Ben is a real life example of a boy becoming a man in seconds and never looking back. His behavior is an example of true courage over a very long period of time. Ben was under fire, and he never quit. He never quit. I knew that my leg was gone, right? But I was just so happy that my wife and kids had survived. It just didn't mean that much to me.
I survived because of the determination, the will, and the love of my family, and also because of my faith in God. And the combination of those two are why I'm here today.
I survived because of the strength of belief and the inspiration that was played out right in front of me by my wife and by my kids. In the middle of just this insane madness, this black night that seemed to have no end, that they watched over each other and they watched over me. And that's a gift that I'll take with me to my dying day.
We heard police sirens and medic sirens coming into the neighborhood as we sat on the porch. And I was holding a towel to my face and trying to clean the blood off of me. And shortly after, an officer came over. I asked him, "Is he dead?" And he said, "Yes." I immediately began to think about his family. Everybody has somebody who loves them. Children, a wife, a mother, a dad. The worst of this is not that someone tried to kill me, but that I had to kill someone else to survive. But I have no shame because I did not choose his death for him. I chose my life. I chose life. When I returned to my home the next day, I was anxious to hear messages. There was a message from my husband on both lines, but the man who would sound totally agitated over very minor things did not sound like a husband who was hearing that his wife had nearly been murdered the night before. And I knew when I heard his voice on those two messages that he did this. He was behind this. It's a very humbling thing to know that somebody wants you dead, especially after 17 years. It's humbling to know that you've had to kill a man. I survived because I had training in how to avoid injury in violent situations. And when you combine that with the fear of knowing that someone is trying to kill you and the power of adrenaline that is your gift, in those instances, I had all the tools that I needed to survive.
Who? Who? Go. We got another police officer after I showed her my key to walked up here and tried to kick me out of my own goddamn pool. I paid $1,600 in rent. What's your badge number? That's my question. And Candace, yeah, tell her she looks stupid. Now tell her she looked dumb. Just tell her she looked dumb because I told her I showed her my key. She didn't have to come over here. I'm over here. Yeah, but I told her that but listen, hold up. First of all, the question that you asked me was, do I live here? I said yes. Then you asked me what my address was. I showed you my key. What more of a conversation needs to be held? Am I, like, seriously, what more of a conversation do I need to? But I'm saying, I did answer her question. I did. I told. Why do I need to give this lady who I don't know my address? I don't know her. I don't know if that's a fake ass badge. What do you mean? I don't use. I'm saying, just seriously, just and just think about it from my perspective. Just yes, but you just came over here and ruined my alone time and my. Yes. Yes. I showed her my key. What else did I have to do, Candace? What else did I have to do? She didn't walk over there. She didn't walk. Or were you going to walk over there? No, you haven't. You ain't been over here in the last hour. You know, you. Yeah.
Were you able to locate your insurance card?
My husband is sending it to me. May I ask what else you're pulling me over for?
Nothing, ma'am.
Okay, so then am I getting a citation?
Yes, ma'am.
Under Ohio state law, you can only pull me over for texting if there's another offense you give me a ticket.
Well, I've done this 20 years, and you're wrong. In the city...
I just looked up. Except for the city of
you need to look up the city of Columbus, ma'am. This is the code I'm going to actually give you. It's 2131.44B. Okay. I'm actually going to give you a copy of the law today.
Great.
It is primary offense.
Just so you know, also walking up to a woman's car, you should have pulled me over. You're lucky I didn't have my pepper spray on me because you scared the ever-living shit out of me as a woman.
You would not, if you weren't going through emails, sir, you would probably be more observant.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm telling you, as a woman, I'm actually shaking right now because you scared the ever-living shit out of me.
Well, I've made over 7,000 traffic stops, and I've never been pepper sprayed.
But I understand that, sir, but I'm telling you, as a woman, you made me feel unsafe.
Okay, I'm a public safety official,
I
ma'am.
understand that, but please listen to what I am saying, because you're not listening, because you're seeing this through the eyes of me trying to get out of a ticket, which I'm not.
Oh, you won't get out of it, yeah.
Sir,
I can assure you of that.
Sir, can I please finish my sentence?
Go ahead.
As a public employee, I am letting you know, as somebody who is a person who pays your salary. Sir, please.
No, I'm no longer going to listen to you. I'm no longer going to listen to you. I'm going to give you your driver's license back. What you are being cited with is texting while driving. I gave you a copy of the law. You're going to have 3 options.
Can I please have your badge?
Your first option, it's going to be right here, ma'am. It's K. Connor, badge 1300. It's at the bottom of your citation. No, ma'am. All I have to do is provide it to you. It's on the bottom of your citation. So, you're going to have 3 separate options. I won't give you your options then. I need your signature. Your signature is not an admission of guilt, but I do need your signature because it's an arrestable offense if you do not.
I can't believe that you won't even listen.
No, as soon as you said, I pay your salary, we're done.
But, sir, I'm trying to tell you that you can do your job better.
I've done my job 20 years, and I'm protecting the public from you reading your emails while you drive your car.
Well, that
drive
hasn't
safely now.
existed for 20 years.
Who are you talking to? I'm working. Yeah, you work here. Are you the manager? Are you the owner? Or you started running your fucking mouth because I asked her that I said we weren't done eating yet. I don't give a fuck, bitch! You fucking, what do you do here? You're a cook? Back those balls up! Come over here right now! Who owns the place? Who owns the place? We're eating here. All I asked the girl, I said to the girl, I said, we're still eating, we're not done yet. That's all I said. And you started getting cocky and being a smart ass with me. No, that's not how it went. Yeah, that is how it went. And you just tried to yell at me and tell me to leave. Yeah, it is. Yes, it fucking is.
Hey, Karen, watch the language.
What's my good thing? Your parents? Yeah. You're literally ruining Bitch, why don't you never eat again because you weigh 500 pounds? Why? You fucking fat bitch! You fucking fat bitch! I don't believe you.
Oh, I need to go.
I didn't do what are you doing? I didn't do what am I doing? I didn't do anything!
Today we're seeing if we're attractive or just plain ugly.
Attractive, ugly.
Got a 10.
What would you get a 10?
You watch, I'm so gorgeous, I'll get a 10.
What is number 2?
Means you're ugly.
I am not ugly! Do it again!
I'm gonna get a 10 out of 10 because I'm gorgeous.
What's 1?
Means you're even more ugly.
I am not more uglier than number 2. I'm not more uglier. Play it again.
We're playing this stupid game.
It's rigged. I hate it.
So it turns out we're all not plain ugly.
Ma'am, you're gonna have to give me back the corn or I'm gonna have to call the cops. No, I'm being serious. You can't just go into my cornfield and take whatever you want. That's my corn. Story time. So if you saw the last video, you will have seen that this lady came in her white van wearing a pink dress and high heels and decided she was just gonna have a heyday in my corn and take whatever she wanted. I mean, the funny part is, put the corn in her dress, so when she started running away, the corn was literally falling out of her dress. But anyways, I confronted her, but you're never gonna guess what she does next. So after I tell her, ma'am, I'm gonna call the cops, she tells me, the corn is just sitting there. I can take whatever I want. This is my child, ma'am. And to mock me, she holds up a cob of corn, sticks it in her mouth, takes a bite, and starts screaming, this is cattle corn.
Who is in the wrong here?
Got to go up on stage a few times. It's an easier place. You know, one night you walk in and you'll see him on stage. Like, fuck. Caporal was a funny fucking guy. You know, he was younger than me.
said, existence is here, matters.
SpongeBob and Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man. I was gonna say.
I got you.
Enemy in sight confirmed.
Report to fight.
Touching you through.
With Pretty Litter, the world's smartest kitty litter, you don't need a detective to know if your cat's healthy. Pretty Litter's crystals change color to help detect early signs of potential illnesses, so you can monitor your cat's health. Save 20% off your first order at prettylitter.com, promo code MEAT. Enjoy the show. My name is Andrew Tate, and this is Season 7, Episode 21 of Let's Not Meet, a true horror podcast. These events take place during the summer of 2020. I was 21 years old at the time and living in a 2-bedroom apartment with a woman who is now my ex. We had moved in only about 2 months before, but had lived in a duplex just on the other side of the street the year before, so we knew the neighborhood. It was a well-populated street on the north side of my college town. Now, this town essentially only existed because of the university, and that meant that the population was low, but could get very drunk and very intense, especially when the majority of students left for the summer break. We had many friends in the surrounding apartments, and to set the scene, we were on what was your typical suburban street, but some of the houses had been split into different apartments on each floor with separate doors to each window. In the 6 apartments between the house I lived in and the one next door, we knew personally 8 of the 11 people who inhabited them. One of my friends was selling marijuana at the time, so we were all very aware of our surroundings and reported any strange incidents to him or each other, just to keep us all aware. This is why we were sure to let him know before he moved in that the house directly across the street was home to some of the most intense neighbors that I had ever had in my life. More negative adjectives were soon to come.
I was at a house party and Marshmallow showed up. He was acting crazy. He started all these marshmallows. And then he took his helmet off. Underneath his helmet, he's a cyclops. I was at
though. I ain't high, but I still got high hopes. The good vibes never show up on time though. So I'm singing like Mariah with the high notes. So fly though, catch me in the sky. Everybody gotta ask me for a ride. Strapped like a thing that you keep on the side at a wedding as a guest might leave with the bride. So sick like Neo was. I fly in and say shit like a hero does. You got L's and your team got 0 dubs. I put y'all behind bars like a CO would, yup. I survived the flood, I found strength somehow to get out the mud. So your little accolade don't count to us. Anything that you try won't amount to us, yeah. No pressure though, flow extra cold. I've been doing well eating my vegetables. And it seems like life feels so exceptional, exceptional. Yeah, and it seems like life feels so exceptional, exceptional. Yup, I supply what's demanded. I find peace that expanded. Deep, I ain't average. Can't be from this planet, but I bleed through the bandage. Weak, but I'm avid. Go to sleep with the baddest. On my feet, something drastic. Beef to the basket. Couple G's and I'm laughing. For the cheese, I'm a magnet. Keep the advantage. I'm like so far ahead now. I got butter for the bread now. Chilling on a big cloud, and I won't come down 'cause this is where I love and I live now. Get what you give out. Have to burn the bridge down. It just is what it is now. Life in a bitch, no. It's a curse and a gift though. It should be that simple, yeah. No pressure though, flow extra cold. I've been doing well eating my vegetables. And it seems like life feels so exceptional, exceptional. Yeah, and it seems like life feels so exceptional, exceptional. When you wanna, but you say you don't want to. Say you don't, say you don't, say you don't, say you don't wanna, but you say you don't. Say you don't, 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 say you don't wanna, but you say you don't. Say you don't, say you don't, say you don't. It's 2 a.m. and I can't think about any of me. And I can't think about. And I can't think about any of me. And I can't think about reasons why. And another minute reason. All I think about is reasons why. And another make when you wanna, but you say you don't want to. Say you don't, say you don't, say you don't, say you don't wanna, but you say you don't, 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 say you don't wanna, but you say you don't, say you don't, say you don't, say you don't. 2 a.m. and I can't think about anything. And I can't think about. And I can't think about anything. And I can't think about reasons why. And another minute reasons why. All I think about is reasons why. And another minute things I could say to make you think I'm with you. No who, no who, no who. Say to make you think I'm with you. No who, no who. No calls that I know you saw, but you said didn't come through. Didn't come through. Didn't come through. That I know you saw, but you said didn't come through. 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 When you wanna, but you say you don't want to. Say you don't, say you don't, say you don't, say you don't wanna, but you say you don't, 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 say you don't wanna, but you
LMAO about the torch. If you know, you know. How else will I do art for hours and hours? LOL. LMAO. Welcome everybody. I'm currently adding the first layer of black paint that's going to be in between these little stones here, and then I'm going to go back second layer and then color in the stones. This is a dice tower. A manic project. It's made out of, I bought like this plastic poster material. I literally saw like a bunch of TikToks today about it, so I just went out to Michael's and got like the plastic poster, 5 pounds of the clay, and was like, I want to make a little castle, let's go. Charia! Oh my gosh. Hello, Charia. Charia is a massively intelligent and funny ass homie. Go give her a follow. She's this dope ass engineer for General Mills. She's literally in charge of the cereal and stuff. So like General Mills cereal that you buy, she probably made it, like was there when it was made. So that's crazy to me. Good morning, Charia. Yeehaw. Teehee. Oh, it's almost there. Oh my god, me too. That's how I've been. I've literally just been up all night. I started... Oh, thank you. This is my playlist. I couldn't sleep, and I was also just like, yes, just straight vibes. Hey, we're at 420 likes. Gucci snakes. Success. Peak. Pinnacle. We have achieved the summit of success.
You're already booked it.